Welcome into Rogue Football. I'm your host, Jordan Lugo. Thanks so much for being here today. Jalen Polk, NFL Draft Scouting Report, 6'2", 204-pound wide receiver out of the University of Washington. Just appeared in the national championship game, was a big part of that championship run. Obviously did not go well against Michigan, but this is a 21-year-old former three-star recruit at Washington in 2023, 69 catches, 9 touchdowns, 54.2 contested catch rate, 5.5% drop rate, aligned in the slot 41% of the time. Where does Jalen Polk win? This guy wins at the catch point. I mean, I think you see that consistently. I think you see that often. I think you see that just every time you pop on the tape with Jalen Polk, you see him winning at the catch point. He has good size, good explosiveness, great body control, tremendous hands. He does not drop easy one, and he routinely hauls in a ton of contested catches. That's what pops off the tape immediately. Releasing off the line, I think that you see someone who has room for growth in that regard. I don't think you see him having to go up against a lot of very talented press man corners out there in the Pac-12, but I do think that the potential is there for growth in that regard. He has some suddenness to him as a route runner, not elite, but he can definitely snap off routes, change directions with haste. He has that ability. Again, I think that he can grow as a route runner separator and as a guy who can release off the line. He is a 3-level threat, a guy that routinely does a good job on screens. He does a good job in the intermediate area of the field, both against man coverage and against zone. And he has the ability to get deep and take the top off the defense. I think you see that quite often in Washington's offense. As a ball carrier on these screens, you do see some wiggle, you do see some contact balance. Not elite in that regard, but he brings something to the table as a guy who you just feed the football to. Shows the understanding to sit down against zone coverage, where to sit down, and also does a good job of moving with his quarterback, presenting a target and trying to get open throughout plays, even after the initial play has gone by the wayside. He can create late separation with his physicality without drawing penalties. I think he shows that consistently. He also shows late hands, which you love. A guy that can just pluck the ball out of the air late, doesn't have to have his hands in position early, I think can really thrive at the next level. When he gives full effort as a blocker, he can get the job done there at a high level. I think you see that in pretty much every single game that he played this year. Really good stuff there. You did see Michigan's defense, their secondary, their corners kind of lock it down against these Washington receivers. And at the next level, you are going to see more defenses like that. I think that one really showed the need for growth from Jalen Polk and from pretty much the entire Washington receiving corps. But overall, I'm looking at a potential high-end number 2 receiver who has the potential for growth as a route runner, separator, and a guy who releases off the line. He already is really, really good when it comes to the strong hands, the body control, the late separation. He's a very good athlete at his size. I think that this guy has a second-round grade for me at this point. He does pretty much everything very well. He isn't out of this world in any of the areas you look at for a receiver, except for the elite hands and the body control, which are both very special. I think this is the type of guy you get in the second round. You bring him in to be a solid number 2 for you early on, and he can develop into a high-end number 2 in a couple of years. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.